topic from my side, that is foreign body. So it is actually coming in the child health emergency unit, but it is also some part is discussed with respiratory diseases. That's why we are making the topic for today's discussion. So foreign body, uh, foreign bodies. So, what is a foreign body or what is the incidence of that condition? We can see the lodgement of all sizes, shapes, and varieties in the ear and upper respiratory tract is a common accident in childhood and accounts for significant number of cases in the pediatrics as well as the ENT departments. So, usually respiratory tract foreign bodies aspiration, that is a more serious condition comparing to foreign bodies in any other body parts, but is commonly seen. Another common foreign body is the foreign body in the ear. So both in pediatrics, both in ENT, both departments, these patients will be coming with as an emergency condition. So that is about the foreign body. And first we can see foreign bodies in the ear. So usually non-living foreign bodies are oftenly inserted in the external auditory canal. So it can be the pieces of paper, chalk, eraser, grains or seeds. Okay, grain seeds, etc. And what happens when it is entering the ear is when it is entering the ear is they tend to swell when the time is passing. This paper or chalk or anything, it can swell. So when it is entering, it may be small in size, but when it is blocked there for longer period, it becomes greater in size and slowly it get tightly impacted in the ear canal. So that is a problem with non-living foreign bodies. And regarding the living foreign body, usually insects may find their way into the ear canal and cause intense irritation and pain. The child will be very much irritable when a living foreign body is entering in the particular ear canal. So what happens is, before its removal, the insect needs to be killed by installing spirit or any chloroform water. So otherwise it may cause further irritation and injury in the ear canal. So that's about the living foreign bodies. Regarding the treatment of foreign body in the ear, foreign body may be removed carefully by forceps, syringing, suctioning, and special instruments or post-oral approach. So these are the measures by which we are trying to remove the foreign body from the ear. So one more point which we have to remember is irrigation with water for vegetable matter. It can be a seed or some vegetable matter, even the paper. It should not be irrigated with water because it may cause absorption of water and increase their size. It will be causing difficulty in removal. So we should not irrigate for all foreign body. We have to inspect and what is happening inside, and according to the foreign body we have to do the water irrigation. Next is the foreign bodies in the respiratory tract. It can be in the nose, it can be in the larynx, it can be in the trachea and bronchi. So one by one we can see foreign body in the nose first. So foreign body is in the nose. It can be an inanimate or animate foreign body, and it is very commonly seen. And if it is retained for a longer period, it can cause granulation tissue also. And most often history clinches the diagnosis. Usually by seeing the atmosphere or the environment, we can find that the child has some foreign bodies in the nose. And a foreign body is suspected when child is very small, when there is a unilateral nasal discharge and foul smelling and blood stained discharge from a particular nostril. We can suspect that the child is with a foreign body in the nose. And local obstruction can be there with sneezing, mild discomfort and pain. And the irritation produces local mucosal swelling if the items increase in size as they absorb moisture. So when it is lodged, it may be very small, but when it is kept there for a longer period, it may increase its size by absorbing more amount of moisture from the environment. So regarding the treatment, for inanimate objects, a curved hook is passed beyond the foreign body, which is then pulled out. Leeches can be removed by putting a pinch of salt or a few drops of oxalic acid on their body. And maggots, if it is there, it can be asphyxiated with the turpentine oil and then removed as they crawl out for want of oxygen. So this is the treatment options for any foreign body in the nose. Next we can see foreign bodies in larynx. It gives rise to sudden onset of symptoms. So when the foreign body is entering in the larynx, it initiates fast symptoms like coughing violently, choking, gagging, and may have dyspnea, croup or cyanosis. So the croup, we already know regarding the manifestations of croup manifestations. So that can be seen here also when the larynx is obstructed with any foreign body. Early diagnosis and prompt treatment, including restoration of airway by an emergency tracheostomy, can be life-saving. So it is a very emergency situation, and it is depending upon the size of the foreign body, because larger sized foreign bodies will be lodged in larynx than a small sized. If it is aspirating a small sized foreign body, it will be lodging in the trachea or in the bronchi than in larynx. So that is why we can say that in larynx it is an emergency situation, and the person should be properly managed with proper airway correction by tracheostomy or any other options. So that is about the foreign body in larynx. Foreign bodies in trachea and bronchi. So, smaller objects and vegetable foreign bodies can be lodged in the respiratory tract and can produce varying degrees of obstructive emphysema and atelectasis. So, the symptoms are dyspnea and cyanosis depending upon the area of foreign body. And the diagnosis can be done by radiopaque studies like X-ray and bronchoscopic examinations. The treatment is bronchoscopic removal can be done, and usually we may require antibacterial therapy and the physiotherapy to prevent the atelectasis and other complications. Next we can see the removal of obstructive materials from airway. As a first aid measure, we can opt the foreign body obstruction can be done with the Heimlich maneuver. So this will be known to you, that is Heimlich technique will be used for a bigger child, but in infants how we have to do. So this is the measure. This is a picture which showing how to remove an obstructed material from an infant. So this is done by the combination of back blows and chest thrust. So first picture is regarding back blow and the second picture is regarding the chest thrust. So what we have to do is, a child is kept in a a child is kept in a nurse's arm. The head is supported with jaw, or head is supported by supporting the jaw, and resting the infant on the thigh. Nurse performs 4 forceful back blows between the shoulder blades with the heel of the hand. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ കൊച്ചിനെ നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ കിടത്തുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ആം കൊണ്ട് ഒരാം കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, അവരുടെ ജോ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അടുത്ത ആം ഉപയോഗിച്ച്, അതിൻ്റെ ഹീൽ ഓഫ് ദ ആം ഉപയോഗിച്ച് നമ്മൾ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ ബ്ലേഡ്സ് ഓഫ് ദ ഷോൾഡർ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, നമ്മൾ ഫോർ ഫോർ ഫോഴ്സ്ഫുൾ ബാക്ക് ബ്ലോസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. സോ അതാണ് ആദ്യത്തെ ചിത്രത്തിൽ കാണിക്കുന്നത്. ദെൻ ദ ഇൻഫൻറ്റ് ഇസ് സാൻഡ്വിച്ച്ഡ് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ നഴ്സസ് ഹാൻഡ് ആൻഡ് ടേൺഡ് ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ്ലി. പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ നമ്മളൊരു സാൻഡ്വിച്ച് പോലെ തിരിച്ച് കിടത്തുന്നു കുട്ടീനെ. ആൻഡ് വിത്ത് എ ഹെഡ് ഡൗൺ പൊസിഷൻ, ആൻഡ് വി വിൽ ബി applying 4 chest thrust. So that is the another second position. So we will be പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ തിരിച്ച് കിടത്തിയിട്ട് 4 പ്രാവശ്യം നമ്മൾ ചെസ്റ്റ് ത്രസ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. So this is the combination of back blows and chest thrust which we will be doing for an infant child. So the next one is for a bigger child. The approach we are using is Heimlich technique. Heimlich technique, spelling ഒന്നും കൂടി നോക്കിയോളുക. So this is again we are using to dislodge foreign bodies or food from the hypopharynx, larynx or the trachea when a special equipment is not available. So here the child is in a standing position. The nurse stands behind the child and make a fist with one hand. ഒരു കയ്യിൽ നമ്മളൊരു കൈ ചുരുട്ടി പിടിക്കുന്നു and placing the thumb side of the fist against the child's abdomen in the midline, slightly above the navel and well below the xiphoid process. So nurse grasp fist and applies a quick upper thrust. മുകളിലേക്ക് ഒരു പെട്ടെന്നൊരു ത്രസ്റ്റ്, നമ്മൾ പെട്ടെന്നൊരു ത്രസ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. 6 to 7 thrust may be necessary to expel the object. സോ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണയായിട്ട് ബാക്കിൽ നിൽക്കുക, ഒരു കൈ ചുരുട്ടി പിടിക്കുക, മറ്റേ കൈ നമ്മൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പിടിക്കുക, ഒരു മുറുക്കം കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി പിടിക്കുക. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ തം സൈഡ് എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ജസ്റ്റ് ബിലോ ദ സിഫോയിഡ് സ്റ്റേണം, ജസ്റ്റ് എബവ് ദ നേവൽ സൈഡ് വി വിൽ ബി കീപ്പിംഗ്. പെട്ടെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഒരു 4, 5, 6, 7 ത്രസ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമ്മളുടെ ഫോറിൻ ബോഡി റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് നോൺ ആസ് ദ ഹെംലിച്ച് ടെക്നിക്. പിന്നെ ഫോറിൻ ബോഡി എന്ന് മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മുടെ സിലബസിൽ കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഫോറിൻ ബോഡി ഇൻ ദ സ്കിൻ അതും ഒന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക. സോ സ്മോൾ വുഡൻ സ്പ്ലിൻഡേഴ്സ് ഓർ നീഡിൽ ക്യാൻ ബി ദർ. സോ ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി റിമൂവ്ഡ് വിത്ത് എ നീഡിൽ ആൻഡ് ട്വീസേഴ്സ്. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഹാവ് ബീൻ സ്റ്റെറിലൈസ്ഡ് വിത്ത് ആൽക്കഹോൾ ഓർ ഫ്ലെയിം. സോ സ്റ്റെറിലൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള നീഡിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു സ്ക്വീസേഴ്സ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, അത് ഫോറിൻ ബോഡി ഫ്രം ദ സ്കിൻ വി ക്യാൻ റിമൂവ്. So the area surrounding area should be cleansed with silver, and area around the silver or particular area should be washed with soap and water, and we have to give the treatment for the patients. Then the foreign bodies in the gastrointestinal tract. So especially when the infants are in the oral phase, they will be enjoying putting objects in the mouth. So it can be swallowed also. So some objects like sharp objects, needles, straight pins, hairpins, these all can have a perforation. The chance of perforation can be there. So that is a risk of swallowing any foreign body in the gastrointestinal tract. So otherwise it may be easy for them to defecate with a stool. In these conditions it may be a complicated condition. So the symptoms can be coughing or choking can be there, and pain and dysphagia can be there when an open needle is going inside. Sometimes dyspnea also can be there. So diagnosis can be done by X-ray, barium swallow, esophagoscopy. If the foreign body is not removed but passes through the pylorus into the intestinal tract, serial X-rays are taken to determine its progress. So regarding the management, the object may be removed under a direct vision esophagoscopy. Blunt objects such as coins may be removed by inserting a Foley's catheter beyond the object together under fluoroscopic visualization. And potentially dangerous objects are removed from the stomach gastroscopically. So this is about the management. And if the object is shown to be stationary in the intestinal tract, it should be removed either under fluoroscopy by a magnetized nasogastric tube or by laparotomy because of the danger of ulceration and perforation in the intestine. So this is about the management. So like prevention of foreign body aspiration or foreign body in any body part, we should observe that all objects, small objects, are removed from the child's environment, and we have to provide a close supervision for all infants, especially after they become mobile. So when they are moving their hands and feet, we have to give a close observation for the child so that the child is not swallowing or not trying to insert the objects in any body parts. So this is about foreign body. ഓൾറെഡി നമ്മൾ ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ടോപ്പിക്ക് നമ്മൾ ആക്സിഡൻറ്റ്സ് ആൻഡ് പ്രിവെൻഷനിൽ പറഞ്ഞതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഫോറിൻ ബോഡി മാത്രമായിട്ട് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്തെഴുതണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞ് നമ്മൾ ഇതൊരു നോട്ടായിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കുക, നോട്ട്സ് എഴുതുക, നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിക്കുക. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.